Hey friends, welcome to our homestead. My name is Chrissy, and as you can see, well, as you can maybe see, I've been in town. I'm still in my town clothes. I've had a big day and I haven't been able to film, and honestly I haven't felt like it. It's just been one of those days where you just got to put your next foot forward and do the next thing. I think every tomato seedling that I planted has died, and the chickens got in the garden and dug up a bunch of the seeds, just to name a few things. But right now I'm going to milk the cow. Hey girl, shall I turn the fence off? Just wait. So just to clarify, today's video is not at all normal. I am doing 100 days of homesteading here on our 9 Little Aussies channel, and I am filming every day for 100 days. So today was one of those days where I was thrown a lot of curveballs and it didn't all pan out exactly as I expected, but I thought I'm going to pick up the camera anyway. So a little bit different today, but I'll share with you what has been on my mind. So yeah, I did not want to film at all today, and I have got another video half edited ready to put up that I have just run all day and haven't had a chance to get it up. And I almost thought, no, I'll just skip today. This is not working. You know, I'm trying to make it work, but it's not working. And I thought, no, I am going to stick to this. Well, I'm going to do my best, and I'm not saying there won't be something come up one day where it's just unavoidable. But some days you just don't feel it, but you got to keep going. Very early on in our marriage, I read a book that greatly impacted me. We were living through a very difficult time. This was real in the first couple of years of, so this is like 20 years ago, 22 years ago. And many of you probably heard of Elizabeth Elliot. If you haven't, look her up, because she's an amazing lady. Wrote a lot of books. She was the wife of Jim Elliot. And if you haven't heard this story, they were newly married and went to live as missionaries in South America, I think it was, somewhere. And lived there and had their first child while they were there. And not too long after that, Jim Elliot and 4 others, there was 5 missionaries who were trying to reach this completely unreached tribe of peoples who had never really had much to do with the outside world, but they were cannibalistic and they were very violent, and aggressive, sort of a very murderous sort of people group. But they really wanted to reach them, and they had made a number of, they didn't have anyone who spoke the language, but I think they had made a number of contacts with the group with airplane drops and things. And on this one occasion they went in and they thought that they were being welcomed, and all 5 of them ended up being murdered with arrows, and you know, a very violent, horrible ending. Anyway, so Elizabeth Elliot is back at base camp with their baby or toddler. I'm not sure exactly how old. And the other wives. She elected, after all of that, to stay. And then sometime later, I'm not sure exactly what the time period was, I can't remember. But she went in to that group and got in with, to meet some of those the Orca Indians they were called. And they lived in the jungles there. And she ended up being able to meet them and tell them about the love of God and how much God loved them, and tell them about Jesus, even though these were the very people who had murdered her husband. She's written a lot of books, but one thing she said that really spoke to me then, 20 odd years ago, and I still remember regularly when I'm going through a difficult season, is sometimes you won't understand the why or the how, or some seasons are just really hard, and all you can do sometimes is do the next right thing, whatever that is. Sometimes you can't fix things, even though you really want to. Careful, girl. Sometimes all you can do is the next right thing. And maybe it's, I remember when my husband was really sick with cancer, I was just, do the next right thing, cook the next meal, hug the children, read the next story, go to the next doctor's appointment. Don't look too far beyond, because it's too far and you can't see and you can't fix things. In situations where you're powerless and there are situations outside your control that you have to really kind of surrender. But if you can just do the next right thing and keep that sense of purpose in your step and sense of trust that I don't have the answers to this, but I know that God does. And so I'm just going to keep walking by faith. I'm going to do the next right thing and wait. Hope and wait. Oh, we as humans, we don't like that waiting bit. Well, I sure don't. Oh my goodness, the waiting bit. Waiting can be hard work. The hard work of doing nothing, or well, it's not doing nothing, but like emotionally just waiting and physically doing the next right thing. So I think I'm going to have to replant all my Roma tomatoes. We've had some intense hot weather up in the... I don't know if that's why. I don't know. I don't know why, because I've been watering them morning and night. But they are not happy campers, and most of them are deceased. So the next right thing for me today... Wait a minute. So I guess my tomatoes are just an analogy for how life feels right now. And it's, like Mike and I remind ourselves regularly, we have our health. The children are all healthy, and we have our health and we have each other and lots to be thankful for. So hold on to the good. But it's okay that really and truly, sometimes you don't have all the answers. Sometimes life is a mystery and there are puzzles we cannot figure out, and maybe we won't until eternity have all the answers. But there is some kind of comfort for me and in giving myself the purpose and the intention of, no, I'm not going to lay languidly in hopelessness. I am going to do the next right thing. And it may be as small as hugging the next child that walks past, fixing the next meal, milking the cow, watering the garden even when my plants die. And please don't misunderstand. I'm not suggesting my plants dying is like the world falling apart. I'm just using that as a picture, analogy for how life feels sometimes. The sun will rise again tomorrow. We can be sure of it. The rain will continue to fall, sometimes with gaps in between. The sun will continue to shine. And while we have breath in our lungs, there is hope. So maybe life is all rosy and wonderful for you. I really hope it is. But if it's not, if there are hard things going on and going down, take courage, dear heart, and just do the next right thing. And don't lose hope. That is what I am choosing to do this day. So this little talk I'm giving you is my own little self-pep talk. But I do think it's a really good example of how it can really, reading books and like good ones can really be such an encouragement. Like here I am 20 years later still taking notes from Elizabeth Elliot's life and her books and her story and learning from it and gleaning from it. And yeah, so maybe go read a good book. Maybe that's what you need. Maybe that's what I need. A good book. All right, Matilda girl, I think we're nearly done. Okay, friends, Matilda's done, so I'm going to go take her back to her paddock, and I will be back here again with hopefully more homesteading content tomorrow, whether it's sun shining or rain's dropping. I don't think we're getting any rain anytime soon. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out and watching. I will see you soon. Sunshine and raindrops. Until then.